Shut it down, Aldred. Hit it, Iggy. In 1492, a crackpot robbery unit was sent to prison for a crime they weren't aware was being committed. This man and woman promptly escaped from a shonky security stockade to the Waterdeep Undermountain. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers without a fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else is available to help, and if you're unfortunate enough to find them, maybe you can hire the sock team. Ignatius as himself, Odin as himself, Zerelda as herself, Aldred and his tractor, Fen as himself, and me.
That was terrible. Ours came in about 3 seconds after everyone else.
I think the fact that we practiced that 20 or 30 times and that was actually the best one of the lot.
Yeah, sure.
Nailed it.
No, yeah. Anyway, anyway, everybody, welcome to episode 14 of Frauds of Waterdeep.
Mm-hmm.
Previously on in the game, Zerelda and Ignatius got busted out of jail by Ode and Aldred in disguise, and Fen driving in the wagon, along with Torquil and Seat. I'm going to keep calling various names. And they rode off away from the field ward guard house. And the reason why they were in there is because they were attempting to uncover information about the Growlhunds for the Blackstaff / robbery. But there we have it.
Just after socks.
Just after socks. I was just nipping out for some socks.
For the socks.
Yeah. No, I think you should leave those ears on.
Yeah.
Well, you can't. Is this why you're a half elf?
Is his obsession with his obsession with socks is making him more of a house elf now, isn't it?
It's free.
Odie. Odie loves Harry.
Odie.
I'm the wizard.
Yeah.
So there we have it. So in the immediate aftermath of the breakout from the cell, the guards race over to you, Aldred. What happened? What happened? You get after them! Get after them!
I don't know. There's a noise.
What happened? Right, you came. You're part of this. So you got to be in this. Did he do any magic? No, he didn't do anything. No. That's the guard that you were standing next to, talking to, at the time. Right, well, just chase him. Just do something. They kind of like leg it off. Nobody's particularly paying masses of attention to you at the moment.
Cool. And I'm gonna slink out.
Excuse me. A fairly burly figure who wears the uniform of a sergeant calls at you.
Yes.
Come on, back in. You're going nowhere, son.
Okay. So on the way in, I would be looking for a lot of windows. Is there No.
Go on, back in.
Yeah, I'll come back in. And is there?
He grabs you quite strongly, kind of like by your shoulder. Right, go on, and puts you in handcuffs.
What?
Go on, back in there, you. Pushes you rather abruptly into the magistrate's area. Sit yourself down. Don't think about going anywhere.
Okay.
Quite a bit of time passes.
Wait. Time might not pass. Yes, time very much might not pass.
He's reading his spells.
Yes.
Know your spells.
Am I nearby a window?
What would nearby be?
Within 30 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just have a look at this spell. Verbal, somatic, and material. Can I reach into
You aren't fifth
my
level
robes?
yet, by the way.
I know, no. Can I reach into my robes to grab a...
But yeah, manacled, properly manacled, not like flexible ones, but proper manacles in front of you.
Okay, I'll wait for now, but I want to stay close to a window.
Are you moving?
No.
Okay, so you're probably about 25 foot away from a window.
That's fine.
So a bit of time passes, and this fella comes back. What's your name then?
John Calder. Why?
John Calder. John Calder, well, you're interned at the moment. Well, we undertake an investigation into some escaped prisoners that you were coming to see. What was your purpose in seeing them?
I came to see them to give them a meal basket from the dwarven community and to make sure they were being kept right, because the field ward has a reputation. I'm sure you understand.
And what's your standing in the dwarven community, John Calder?
It's more Ignatius than anything else. He's a stand-up guy.
How do you know
Helps a lot of people
Ignatius?
out. He's a blacksmith. He did some work for me a while ago.
And what is your employment?
My employment.
Yeah, what do you do?
I'm currently unemployed.
So what work did he do for you a while ago?
He was fixing up door. Was it the lock? It was the lock and the hinges on my door
Which door?
of my home when I
Where
had
is
it.
your home?
It's a little. I used to.
The
fish.
gutter.
It was a. It was a little wherever the fishing. Where would fishing be? The Aldred would know. Where would all the fishing people be?
Dockward.
Yeah, Dockward then.
You think the field ward has a reputation? Okay, so a blacksmith who
Hey,
did some work.
the Dockward's on the up and up. I'll have you know.
A blacksmith who did some work for you a few weeks ago. You felt so compelled to come and bring him a bread basket from the dwarven community, John Calder.
He did it for free.
That might be the reason why. What, he did it for free?
Yeah.
Okay, so who gave you the bread basket from the dwarven ward?
Do I know his employer or the genasi that worked for them?
I don't know. You tell me.
Let's say it came up in conversation. I'll say the genasi got a or a basket together with the dwarves. So that's
Okay. He calls over one of the junior guards, talks to him, sends him off.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, since as I can't actually incarcerate you here on account of the jail being somewhat out of action, I think you're just going to have to stay. A magistrate walks in. He bows. They have a conversation. The magistrate says, "You checking it?" He goes, "Yeah." A few moments later, the messenger comes back in.
No, I'm not waiting for the messenger to come back.
Okay, a few moments later, the messenger comes back in.
How can he be that fast? This is like the other side of town.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to wait for a lapse in people looking at me and just misty step out a window.
Okay. You misty step outside the window. You're outside the window. There's loads of people around, gathered about. You're manacled. They look at you.
Run.
I am just
Make a
going...
perception check.
Okay.
Is this where the 18 theme tune starts?
where he gets run over by a car because you're lost.
Yeah.
Still in the jail.
It's gonna roll. It's gonna roll.
Oh.
Perception. Oh, do you want it in the tower?
Oh, don't mind.
Okay, I'll roll it in public.
Okay. You see, possibly the reason why the messenger was coming back is there is a substantial troop of the city watch and city guard making their way through the main thoroughfare, led by what looks to be the open lord who's just descended from a griffin.
Okay, so people will be looking that way, right?
Well, no, they're looking at all around. Yeah, they're predominantly slightly distracted. You've just appeared in front of their midst. They turn.
Yeah, but surely they're all looking at the marching army.
There's a thing called a cicada, which is involuntary eye movement attracted. So they're looking. They look at you as you appear next to them.
So I'm gonna tuck my manacles into my robes.
Okay, make me a deception check.
Deception.
Yeah.
Does it look like you're touching yourself?
Or
They're
pissing.
behind my back.
You
Behind
can't
me.
move them, they're in front of you.
You'd have
can't
to do
move them
that.
behind your back.
You can step over them. You can step
You
over
can't step
manacles.
over them.
Right.
Yes, you can. Have you ever been handcuffed
Okay,
before?
so you're starting to step over them. The guard come and grab you, pull you back in. As you're like there, fall over into your arms.
That's at ages.
Yeah, it would.
No, I wouldn't.
It would.
You
I've
might get
stepped
away
over
with it if
handcuffs
you're like a
before.
dead fighter.
I mean, you could roll an
You're back,
acrobatics
you're back
for it.
inside. You're back inside. They grabbed you and just brought you back in.
Okay, we're going to have to do a prison break.
Oh, this isn't even fair. It wasn't even my idea.
Prison Break Mark 2. The second season was terrible.
That's interesting, the magistrate says. I don't believe you, John Calder. And everybody goes quiet as the open lord steps in. Very lateral. Looks around, points at a figure. Here, now. A watch captain walks across. Well, look, my lady, I can explain everything. There will be no explaining to happen. You've lost valuable prisoners. I'm taking this over as an open lord matter. Everybody who is in the premises is coming to the Palace of Piergaran. I've had enough of your incompetence. You're demoted with immediate effect. And the guards that she's brought with her kind of come around, grab everybody. You're taken along with them. In a car like the back of Skyrim.
Lay roll, Silverhand. Fuck.
She kind of walks back, gets onto a griffin, kind of heads off. As you're kind of heading through the streets, you hear city crier crying out, "Hear ye, hear ye, the Growlhund family villa, looted by thieves. Be on your lookout for a half-orc covered in orange, fifth be found potion." In other news, students from the Transmutation Club of Blackstaff Academy request that citizens be on the lookout for a missing sheep. His name is Bartholomew. Please approach with caution as he's probably a bit confused.
And is he still a sheep?
It's not yet mentioned. Okay. So you're taken through into the palace compound, dropped there, led through into the main kind of like area. You're then separated away from the majority of the troop, from everybody else, and taken through into the bowels of the palace. It's quite hard to follow where you're going, but at some point you're taken an incredibly long corridor which has got windows all down one side that look out over into the city, and then you're taken into an overfurnished antechamber. There's quite a lot in quite a small space. There are several artifacts and elven design, though you don't think they're of elven manufacture. And there's a young page boy stood there by the door. His ice blue eyes and almost white hair. He kind of looks at you. Shrugs his shoulders. You do anything?
I mean, what can I do at this point?
Misty Step. It worked so well last time.
Mm.
Okay, so set behind. So your the page comes. Go on. It's got quite a high pitched voice. Steps you into a room. The room is fairly large but quite sparsely furnished. Sat behind a desk with her feet on the desk is Vajra the Blackstaff.
Whee!
She smiles at you. Looking out of the window onto a
Nice.
scene of a forest blanketed in snow. So the window looks pretty much like a window, but it's looking onto a very different scene than the other windows. Is Laeral, the open lord of Waterdeep. She turns and motions for you to take a seat and waves her arm, and a mage hand kind of unclips the manacles and they fall to the floor. The page boy takes his place by the door. An unseen servant brings a silvered tray with refreshments. The Blackstaff continues to smile. Laeral is quite beautiful in the way that older ladies can be, but she's wearing very heavy makeup. And this close up, as you're seeing her, it's not enough to hide deep wrinkles around the edges of her eyes and lips. She's got a soft lavender smell that comes from a censer that she carries around her neck. And you recognise that's something worn by those that are most badly affected by the recent death curse. Even the survivors weren't wholly healed, and the kind of necrotic damage still gathers about their bodies. So they wear these devices to cover some of the rotting smell. Her voice is a lot less cultured than it was before. Let's get this over with. So, Lord Elterchulm, thanks to you for establishing that the Growlhunds have some relationship with Zentarim, and for uncovering some involvement of Banshoon in the city's affairs. Now, we're given to understand that the station captain of Field War's incompetence, and she smiles and the Blackstaff smiles, has allowed your companions to escape to the city to the north, accompanied by some other undesirables. So what are your party's plans now?
It's incredibly difficult to say because the original plan was to go south. You can tell these guys aren't the most organised from what just happened and from what happened previously, right?
You could tell we're winging it.
With style.
Yeah.
I think you mean winning it.
Winning it.
with panache.
So unless they went north and then immediately wheeled round Waterdeep, which I doubt,
No, they have not done so.
yeah, then I have no idea what they're doing.
So what was the plan?
He's either thinking or is frozen.
This is a deep thought.
I think he's frozen.
Oh,
We
you're waiting
screenshot
on me,
that.
aren't you? Okay. So what was the plan?
You were paused for a long time.
My plan was originally to get them out and seemingly, if it was possible, slip through the yawning portal. I received word that my father may be down there. It might just be a ploy to kill me, but it seems like that's where he would be, if anywhere.
Down where?
In Undermountain.
And who told you this?
The Growlhounds, which is precisely why it might be just to get me killed.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So you're going to go into Undermountain,
That was my plan.
and you were going south to the Yawning Portal.
Yeah. We were going to try and lay low for a bit after that.
Wise. And you went north. Okay. Vajra swings her feet down from the desk and walks over. Skullport, she says to Laeral. Laeral nods. That will be where Torquil will go. Definitely. And that interesting little creature that he has with him.
There's Torquil.
Skullport. We don't have a presence there anymore, the Blackstaff says. It's not what it once was. It's under some other influence. Laeral replies. But we could have
Oh,
some spies
That's a
there.
flattering.
That's a good one.
Ah.
That's
That was
brilliant.
a screenshotter.
Tell me that back.
Print screen or not to print screen?
He's back.
With that.
Oh,
Right,
I
okay.
think
Yeah, this is irritating. I am going to. Oh, why are you only doing that? Okay.
I blame Ben's new HD camera.
Well, it says Zerelda's just dropped out of
yeah.
Fantasy Grounds as well.
Is that?
Still open for me.
I'll
You're
probably
not
kick
there
you off
for
in a
us.
moment.
not my new camera. My new camera just means
Hmm.
So I'm gonna say to Lariel. Oh, you ready? Sorry.
Feel so weird seeing these ears on me.
Am I still here or have I gone again?
yeah, you're there.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Still
We
here?
got you.
Yeah, there's a problem. Something I need to find out what eats the bandwidth because it's fine elsewhere. What was I saying when I went?
You were saying that they were going to go to Skullport, and you name dropped the guy they were with.
You
Oh,
said you didn't
Torquil.
have a
Torquil.
Okay, so Vadra says we don't have any presence in Skullport anymore, and Laeral responds, "It's not what it used to be." Oh, that's interesting.
Forgive me, my lady, but I always just assumed Skullport was a little outpost someone had claimed a lot of reputation to in Undermountain.
I guess it is small, but it once was a very thriving community. Since the sundering, it's been a lot less than it was before. We've tried to insert agents and spies there, but haven't been at all successful. But we wonder whether there is an opportunity for us all, what could be called a win-win situation. Vadra says that you are loyal to the city.
Indeed, the greatest city in the realms.
Indeed. And would your loyalty extend to putting your life on the line to protect her?
If the situation called for it.
We haven't been able to get an agent into Skullport for a long while. It just doesn't seem to be able to stick there. The closest we have is a goblin on the second level of Undermountain in the Goblin Market. What's his name again? Vadra says Shyview. Okay. And he's reliable, Shyview. He's been able to get messages to and fro. So if you and your party can base yourself in Skullport, find out what the crack is, get messages to Shyview, then that would be incredibly helpful. Incredibly helpful to us. And the main thing we want to understand is the current status of Skullport and assess whether it is any threat to the city or not.
He's gone again, hasn't he?
Mhm.
Right, let me just bounce
He's
this.
just like these. He's really good at the dramatic pause.
Right, so let me reprise this then. So, blah blah blah, Skullport definitely exists, don't have anybody there. Shyview is a goblin in the Goblin Market on the second level that we trust. It would be really useful if you were to be our agent there, you and your party.
Like, live there forever.
I know, base yourselves there and feed us information.
Live there.
I think we've
Okay.
established it would be useful for a period of time to allow you to settle down, keep on the low down.
Would I be allowed to ask these goblins and other friends of this network to help look for my father while I'm down in Skullport.
What you choose to do is for you to decide. Vadra leans forward, kind of hands across a cloth belt to you. There's 1,000 gold and gems of various quantities in there.
Okay.
That's subsede money for you. And here, and she hands you across something that looks like a wooden carrot or a dildo.
Okay.
There's always a price.
And this is a wand of dark vision with 20 charges.
Ooh.
The keyword is Caesar me.
Caesar me.
It's like sesame, but with an emphasis on the E.
Teaser me.
It's like Mario saying it.
Caesar me.
Caesar me and Aldred.
What race did we establish for Italian?
I can't remember.
Oh no, we didn't get that. Like we had Mexican we were discussing for full elf.
Yeah. Hey,
The full elf was
uh,
Mexican.
Irish was
Some
half
banditos, they came and burned down my tree.
Yes, senor.
And then she pulls out a incredibly powerful. She kind of goes across. The Vadra Blackstaff goes across to a table, opens a drawer and pulls out a staff of about 4 foot, but you can feel the power kind of coming from it. This is Agarion's staff, the one that he wielded, the one that he famously turned into a viper.
Yeah.
And she places it down on the table and it drops with a thud. And the kind of like table bows a little. You'll need to swear your allegiance to the city on it.
Yeah, he thought he was getting.
Okay. Do I just place my hand on it?
Preferably your hand, but any body part will do.
Well,
Nice.
you can't next to it, not equally bow the
Yeah,
table.
so one hand on the staff, one hand up, I guess. Would
As
be
soon as
the-
you press
the
your hand on the
formal way
staff,
to do it.
Well, like the Bible.
Hand on heart.
you
He's frozen
One
again.
staff, one on your heart.
Yeah. And he's back. So I'll just
Why
is there a
does it do
formal
that?
is there a
Why
formal oath
does it-
that
There is,
people
yes.
take for this?
Repeat after me. I, Aldred Elterchul,
I, Aldred Eltrachul,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the city of Waterdeep
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend Waterdeep
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will obey the orders of the Blackstaff
and I will obey the orders of the Blackstaff,
the Open Lord of Waterdeep, and the orders of the officers appointed over me.
the Open Lord of Waterdeep and the offices appointed over me.
So sworn on this staff of the city in the eyes of Torm the True.
So sworn on the staff of the city in the eyes of Torm the True.
As soon as you say that, the kind of staff kind of hovers up a little bit, turns its way around to you and presses quite powerfully against your chest, and you feel a warmth and a vigour come through. You immediately refresh all of your spell slots.
Mhm.
Laeral kind of brushes away some tears from her eye. It's always such a powerful moment. So, Lord Elderchul, we need to decide what we're going to be saying about your disappearance. We also need to consider if there's anything from your household that you need to take with you. Anybody you want to say goodbye to for the moment?
I've already discussed with my brother and mother about me leaving to go to Skullport. Leaving to go to Undermountain for in search of my father. How you do have the evidence of I'm assuming we chatted about this in Trollskull Manor before this whole disaster. Do I know about the symbols of Asmodeus and the robes and stuff?
Nope.
Yeah, we said
Why do you say that?
I thought Aldred. We said when me, Ode, and Aldred were in the thing, we're hidden in Trolls.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll mention that to them. Like, did you receive the robes and holy symbols of, or unholy symbols?
But I
of
can collect.
Asmodeus that Mike stole from the Growlin Manor.
No, we did not. Ignatius and Zerelda did not mention this to us.
From what I understand, not everyone knew everything, and just everything went wrong. But I can tell you where they're hidden.
Do.
In Trollskull, and I'll relay that information.
They're hidden inside a really nicely carved bed.
Yeah.
Smash it up to get to it.
Ooh.
There were no bed sheets on said bed, as I recall.
Gonna have to take these off. They're really quite painful.
Okay.
Got no sheets on it.
So is there anything... So do you have everything that you want to take from your household?
I would very much like to take some of my guides on Undermountain. I believe that Durnan has written one, although I do understand the place churns and shifts with magic. I'm hoping that something in the book will be useful.
It's the domain of a mad mage.
Yeah.
She just leaves that hanging. The domain of a mad mage.
I do also believe my companions would be lacking in equipment, considering their recent exploits. Would you be able to supply them with equipment?
Torquil has some equipment, I'm certain.
Okay.
He's
Are
not...
you on good terms with Torquil? How much should I be trusting this man?
Don't. And he's accompanied by a creature that we don't know a great deal about, and what we do know about, Vajra looks across at Laeral and she kind of shakes her head. What we do know about is a little shrouded, I guess.
No, you defend a little critter to the death. That's what you do.
Kill it with fire.
No.
Lovely.
Yes. So just my money and some reference books on various creatures, spells, and Undermountain itself prior to going down.
Okay. We'll ensure that you have those. It'll be very easy for us to locate the group. One of them is covered in the Gondite.
It's an angry face.
Yes, dear.
He's giving you the shit eye for being covered in orange.
Print screen that.
How am I ever going to get that orange off? Must fade eventually.
I mean, after a month, surely your layers of skin. How long does it take your whole layer of skin to regenerate?
Well, super glue comes off after a couple of days. So
I know, but
nothing-
super glue doesn't seep into
Hi,
the pigment
Paul.
of your skin.
So,
Hey.
he's covered in the Gondite paint. It's sold as thief to be found.
Mhm.
It means that until it's removed or dispelled, and removed means a lesser restoration spell, anybody who uses the locate creature spell would be able to find him. Don't have to know him first. Just have to have a sample of the paint. The Growlhunds will have paid the Church of Gonds. Now, fortunately, he's a wanted criminal by the state, so we're able to subpoena that. So the Growlhunds won't be able to find him, but we will. So I suggest that you use this scroll, and she hands you across a scroll of Dispel Magic to get rid of it before the Growlhunds start to chase a little bit more aggressively.
Okay. I think Ode has some on his hands too.
Make them stand quite close together.
I like it.
Now, you'll need to go in secrecy into your homestead to gather your goods, and then we'll get you on a griffin back to where they are.
Okay.
Nobody is to know that we were complicit in this.
My lips are sealed.
If you need more resources, make your request through Shyview.
Will do. Thank you, ladies.
And you are shown out by the page, who takes you out through more corridors, down, and then out into an airy, essentially. There's a griffin there, which has got a couple of seats. The page nods you, Godspeed. The Griffin Rider says, "Where are we going?" Elterchall Manor, stealth mode. You kind of mount the Griffin, and the Griffin Rider kind of rises up. Then you see him kind of lean forward in his saddle, and he turns a crystal, and you see a shimmer go over the Griffin, and it becomes invisible.
Nice.
The wind that kind of like whistles through is preternaturally silenced.
Do they become invisible as well, or are they just?
Yeah, they just ride. Looks really weird. No, they become invisible as well. And you take her down to the Elterchall Manor. Lands in the grounds. You're kind of allowed to gather whatever you want to gather. You will need to be able to carry it, is the only requirement. And then on the silent wings of the Griffin, you are taken northwards.
Okay. Well, it's just going to be, as I say, just a few extra books and the wealth that I actually have.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the rest of you guys race out of the Field Ward gate, getting away a little bit more easily than perhaps you think it should be. All right, I'm going to...
It's actually quite a nice freeze, that one. It's a bit of a smile.
It's a bit pixelated.
Yeah, it is a bit pixely.
Okay, Zerelda, are you in Fantasy Grounds? Because I want to.
Yes, I think so. It's just loading.
Okay.
I want that staff. I want Agron staff.
Yeah, you totally thought you were going to get it.
It was
the
the look on your
the look on your
face.
face. You were like,
He should have gone Misty Step.
You've just got a Sesame Seed wand. Does that? Can you reload that then?
Reload what?
His wand of dark seeing.
Yeah. You can recharge.
So one of these like you roll,
Yeah, it's rolls every day, isn't it?
but if you exhaust it completely, then it's dead, isn't it?
Yeah, basically that's the way wands work in fifth. Yeah.
Yeah, it explodes, taking out the universe.
Oh my.
And stuff outside of the universe as well.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it just exploded, taking out his eyeballs, so his vision was always.
Yeah.
That would be functionally the equivalent. Right, let's start to stream. Let's see what happens when we stream.
I mean,
The party is taking a long rest. You bet we are, buddy.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's that. So let's get that. So what's what here? I don't understand what I'm looking at. So that is the receive and that's the send. And that's when you logged in. Oh, that's interesting to know. Right, let's try this again. So, the rest of you guys are out in. So you turn north through the gate, through the field wall gate, a little bit easier than you expected it to be, and you are kind of about 2 or 3 hours journey. It took you. You weren't going that fast once you kind of cleared the gate, but you kept pushing on because of fear of pursuit. And Torquil directs you over. G'day. Directs you over to the coast. Hug the coast. You abandon the car. He tells you to abandon it. Doesn't want to set it afire because the fire flames would would attract more attention. And he leads you down through a very narrow, winding path down quite a steep cliff face to essentially what looks to be a marshy area of the coast. So the sea doesn't quite come up, but it's like really marshy sand dunes. And there's a rather uncertain looking skiff on a wharf that kind of goes out into the sea. And there's a semi-abandoned fisherman's shack. The roof is about the only thing that looks solid. It's got most of its walls. It's just on one story.
That's where John Calder used to live.
It's at this point we realise that Aldred's missing.
I mean, Fen realised pretty much immediately. The rest of you didn't.
Fen realised and carried on driving the.
Yep.
There was no point.
So Torquil kind of like goes in first, leaves a seat with you guys, probably with Zerelda, heads in, and he, it's clear, come on in. Look, right, so this is the plan. I've got some contacts. I know my way into Skullport. I've found a secret way in that we don't need to go through Undermountain.
Cool.
The catch is I need us to work with. It's a bit eccentric. It's a bit of a weird guy, but we'll need to use a craft that he has to get in. There's a guy called Zardos Sword. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Should we?
Why should I have?
Well, he runs a gambling ship or set of ships called the Maiden's Fair.
Does that ring a bell?
Fen, Ode, you guys have probably heard. Well, I can't actually see you anymore because all I've got now is network traffic screens. It does ring a bell, yeah. So Zordos Sword, probably you recognise it more than anybody else at Ode. It's not renowned to be. It's not known to be a harper or anything like that. Eccentric fella, kind of has 3 ships that he cruises the Sword Coast with as the weather kind of takes him, and they're gambling ships essentially. So he parks them just off the coast, outside of the tax remit largely of the cities, and ferries people backwards and forwards. Known to be a bit of a swashbuckler, bit of a kind of eccentric character.
I already don't like him.
He's a Diego Darkblade wannabe, and like
Yeah.
Diego's your hero.
Or did Diego base his life on this guy?
Well,
Yeah.
he can first. He can get us in through a different route, but there's a cost. We'd need to give him something of value.
Oh, of course.
I got socks.
Socks aren't going to cut it though.
White ones, black ones, blue ones, green ones.
Not even noble socks are going to cut it. I tried to get away with a barbecue, but that didn't work.
Something of how much value? We've got gold.
How much gold have we got?
None.
Yeah, none.
You've got to have something of value, something portable. Or you tell me that you rescued them and you're going to go into Undermountain without your.
I've got the necklace.
I know where this is going. I'm trying not to throw the necklace.
What else did you nick?
Just
Have we got the book?
nothing. We didn't
Gold
steal
and a
anything.
necklace. Gold and a necklace.
How much gold did you get?
I don't think I wrote it down. I already have plenty of gold from, crime paying well. But
Just say you have a lot of gold.
well, I have 150 gold. Would that cover it?
No, we're talking thousands.
No.
We could give him half a necklace.
A neck or some lace.
Is it like one big gem, the necklace? Or is it like multiple gems?
Let's say it's multiple gems.
Buy some of the gems off it.
I think he wants a whole necklace.
Well, he doesn't know.
Ask him if it does change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, okay.
We'll give him a necklace.
It's not
Give him
due.
some of the gems off of it. Just give him some of the gems. How many gems are there? What's it look like, this necklace?
I don't know.
So
Ode looks over to Fen and is like, I don't want to give it to him.
It's the size of a wrestler's belt, and it's got gems on it that big.
2 of them then.
So thick bands of gold with, let's say, a central largish diamond and then a couple of rubies either side.
Price off the 2 rubies.
Are you getting it out?
No,
No, I'm not.
Yeah, Ode's carrying it.
Yeah. Like, Fen, I really don't want to. I don't want to give this fella that necklace.
Okay.
We're doing better off finding somewhere to sell it.
Well, back in town.
No. We're going to have to either give him a necklace or give him some of the gold.
Oh, it's going to be tricksy. If we want to get into Skullport, it's going to cost us.
You say this is a gambling ship?
Well, he runs a gambling ship.
Is he the
Wait,
gambler?
give him a necklace and gamble for it to get it back.
What with?
Or spend the gold gambling and try and win enough to get our passage?
Just give him a necklace.
Are you talking about this while he's there? This necklace?
Yeah.
What's the necklace, he says? Let's have a look.
It's cursed.
Well, let's
I'm not comfortable with this at all.
let's keep that between us then. He doesn't need to know, does he?
It's probably got some sort of tracking spell on it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, let's definitely give it up.
We'll see.
That's a very good point, actually.
If we give him the necklace, will he be able to kind of get us some equipment?
He'll have some of that paint on it.
He kind of wanders over to one of the kind of like broken down beds, kind of pulls out and goes, I've got some stuff. He pulls out some studded leather, a chain shirt, a long sword, a war hammer, a kind of what would pass as a shield if you didn't have it. Basically, you've got nothing better. It's like in Zerelda where you've got basically a pot lid as a shield.
In Zerelda?
Yeah, in Link. In Zelda. Yeah. And they pulled out some rations and stuff like that as well.
Zerelda, what of this do you fancy?
I would like a small little slip of paper like, well, I did have a shopping list, so this might actually do.
Well, the hammer looks useful to me. And that shirt there, the metal. Yeah, and that, is that a shield? Could you call that a shield? Could you make this into a shield, like a proper shield? Not just like whatever that is?
If you've got a forge and a hammer, yeah.
Well, come on then.
No, do we have a forge and a hammer?
Well, no.
Well then, no, I can't do anything with it. They took all my equipment. And
Well, what do you want?
Doesn't seem to be working.
What do you want from here?
I won't say no to the chain shirt and maybe the shield, but you can take the rest.
Oh, you want the shield?
Well, you said you didn't want it.
Oh, no. I was just saying make it better for me.
All right, then, you take the.
But frankly, I could do with the chain shirt.
Ode, you ain't getting none of this.
I'd put the necklace back in my coat.
Well, hold on a minute. That necklace is for our trip.
It's from Torquil.
Right. Okay. Am I the only one online?
Yeah.
Drop.
Oh, everyone appears to be kind of coming back.
Slowly.
Yeah.
So did that happen for everybody?
Yeah.
Usually everyone's frozen on the screen.
Everyone's free.
Yeah. Okay. Because the stream, interestingly, the stream
Just come
connection is fine. So my network is
I wonder
doing
if
fine
Discord's
now.
just-
Discord.
It's Discord, isn't it?
It'll be Discord.
Yeah, it might have just gone red on Discord.
Yeah, same.
But my internet is absolutely fine for
Yeah,
connection.
my internet's been
Yeah,
fine.
mine is.
Oh wow, we just
Ooh.
did lose.
I would think Iggy's right with necklace, though. It's probably going to be traced.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like an object is a thing.
Oh,
Oh.
Mm.
Joe was a problem.
yeah, it's come back to green.
There's another cat.
I love the fact he
Yeah.
just did that as his.
All right, I'll hand it over.
Okay. I'll go and leave the signal out.
So what am I having?
I say like the studded leather and shield, or the chain shirt, because they basically equate to the same.
Right.
So who's having what then? Decide who's getting the chain and who's getting the
I'll
leather.
have the chain. It makes sense for me to have the chain.
Okay, I'll take a studded leather then.
I'll hand you all a healing potion as well, so everyone stick a healing potion in your inventory.
Nice.
Oh, do you too?
Hmm?
I've given everyone a healing potion, so you've all got one now.
Oh, we've all got healing potion. Okay, cool.
Okay, so around about this time, Aldred, that the griffin lands on the cliff top, and you can see, with under the light of the moon, the shack and the wharf just down the coast. The griffin rider says that's where they are.
Okay. Thank you for your services. And I'll
Godspeed.
pop off.
And it silently kind of flies off.
You could just
vertical
you
take
can
off,
just
griffin.
you can see from a distance there's two people tugging at each end of a shield. It's mine. No, it's mine.
Each end of a bin lid.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
So I'll cast light on the end of my wand and just start making my way closer.
Yeah. Okay.
Will any of us have noticed?
Can we
this?
spot this?
Leather up from
Perception?
Make perception rolls if you want.
Do I hear them bickering before I rock
you
up?
hear them bickering about the point that you left
Yeah.
Peregrine's palace.
Are you guys trying to dance through more blades again?
outside? I didn't see shit.
Yeah.
We're trying to see if we see you first.
Well, you've heard me now.
Yeah, so you hear and shout down.
Someone's coming. Kill him.
I'll draw my blade and light that as well because I've got a moon touch.
Oh, you do have a
haven't I?
touch blade.
So I'll light it in response.
Oh, what is this? Your torch is bigger than my torch now, is it?
No, it's a
Yeah.
the beacons have been lit moment. From
Aldred calls for aid.
yeah.
How does Rohan answer? How does Ben answer?
Tells him to fuck off.
Welcome back, Aldred.
If he's tipped up now, we might have to be able to keep the necklace.
Oh, the necklace has been given to Torquil.
Oh.
And he's gone off down towards the wharf.
By himself.
Symbol. By himself, yeah.
He's
left
gone
you
to
guys.
he's gone to
He's
do the
stolen
super
it!
secret signal, which is just
He's-
that.
No, he ran away with
Wait,
your
yeah.
necklace now. You're down a necklace. Go get him.
You don't know that yet.
You've got a grand in gems on you, we're fine.
No, you don't know that.
I've
Do I
got
still
gold.
have stool?
Yes, Seat is still there.
Seat. What on earth is that?
You're a good boy.
This is our new friend. He helped
I
us
don't
escape.
trust it.
Hmm.
He keeps
Why are
blowing
you
shit
pulling
all
a
over
face
the
at
place.
him, Aldred?
So how did you get out, Aldred?
I don't know. He kind of reminds me of an intellect devourer, which I'm not entirely comfortable with.
Would you remember the intellect of
Yes, because I was the only one not like rocked
yeah.
by it.
I don't remember it.
Oh,
Ben gone.
Ode's gone for the necklace.
Yeah, that's it. It's down with Torquil.
Yeah, so I'm dubious about this creature.
How did you get it here, Aldred?
It wasn't as hard as it looked.
Well, you look like shit.
Speaking of, I have found out that paint is very bad.
What paint?
What do you mean? What paint? You're covered in it.
Yeah, but I'm rocking this look now.
See, he's just got a lovely tan.
Why?
just looks like
Bad
he
as in
works on a
what? It's gonna
makeup
kill
camera.
me? Is it poisonous?
No,
fine.
no. It's basically gives anyone a free scry on you.
Ah, crap.
So the Blackstaff gave me this, and I like gesture to the scroll. I need to cast this on both you and Ode at the same time.
We hold hands.
Yeah,
No,
Otis is sat on the
He
bed
needs.
weeping.
I think this would work best if he stood right behind you and just dangled his arms over your shoulders.
That's a bit intimate.
What, like,
They said stand
is it
as
like-
close as possible, and that'll
like
get
where you
all
put
the
your arms through and
area of the
pretend
paint
there's someone
at the
I'll
same
jump
time.
on his back like piggyback then.
No.
I'll
you
make
need to-
sure they're close, Aldred.
You need to expose your front, and
Oh.
Ode needs to expose his arms.
We ain't one of your students, Aldred.
Well, if it's all on Fenn's front, then the best thing is for Ode to kneel behind him and put his hands between his legs.
I mean, if that's what you'd prefer, okay.
That's
Just
not
cast
what I
a spell,
prefer.
Aldred.
It's just the logical method.
Yeah, so when the hands are suitably lined up with the front of Finn's body, I'll cast the scroll on them.
Yep. Okay. You cast a scroll, and the orange paint kind of just peels away like old paint does. Just drops down to the floor inert.
Right.
I can
Yeah,
start
what's your-
taking off all this nice linen that I've got on me now. I'll start unraveling it.
Ben, you look a bit pasty. You look like you need a tan.
Where's your guide?
Guide?
Was there not another man here?
He's calling for a boat.
No, he's gone for the signal.
He's gone to signal the guys to capture us.
No, the boat.
A boat.
I don't know. You-
I'll go look outside and see if I can see out.
Go,
Aldred,
someone
we
go
gave
check
him
on
a very expensive necklace. He
I'll
is
put
getting
my
us
rapier
a
away
boot.
so I can see in the dark now.
I bet he's done a running, man. He's done
That's
a
what
running.
I'm looking for. I'll
It's
look
on the end
outside.
of the wharf with what looks to be a coloured hooded lantern. So red light is being flashed out towards the to the sea.
I see. He's
No
doing the
faith, you
signal.
guys.
Oh no.
He helped us get out of prison. He was more use than Aldred.
I helped you get out of prison.
Hey, we
He
helped
was
you get out of
more
prison.
help than Aldred.
We didn't see hide nor hair of Aldred helping us. He just rocks up later on. So where have you been?
Okay, I did not think the disguise was that good, but okay.
We didn't see you at all. You went to
I
talk
mean, it was bad. I saw it. It was bad. I'm gonna go and see Torquil. Make
Yeah,
sure.
I think we're all heading down that way anyway.
I
Oh,
want to know what you got, how you got here.
Well, I did say I met the Blackstaff, and that Fenn's paint is like a free scry.
You met the backstaff.
Yeah.
What did she have
Oh.
to say for herself? She wasn't best friends with us when we met her.
Oh,
nothing is
No,
straightforward with that
I,
woman.
I still don't think
Nothing.
she's impressed, and she wants us to go into Undermountain, presumably to help, but maybe to die. I think she'd be happy with either outcome.
She did threaten to hunt me down and kill me.
Well, that might happen down here, so she might get her wish.
I'll be honest, she was kind of hot when she was doing it. I love a forceful woman.
And yeah, like I'm like, yeah, I get what you mean.
Well, mine and Ode's disguises were top notch, so no one knows it was us. It's only you guys that got
You were
caught.
invisible. What kind of disguise is that?
The best.
That's kind of disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's what was known as the best disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Torquil is down at the bottom of the wharf, signalling out into the sea. Those of you with dark vision and the ability to see can see some ripples kind of rising out, and what looks like
The Kraken.
a pretty large, best described as a manta ray, like surfaces and the water washes off. It's some form of apparatus or boat or what have you that's just risen out from beneath the water, and then a hatch opens and a figure stands.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, this is Captain Nemo. He's definitely cooler than.
Ah.
Well. And then kind of a couple more figures who are slightly shorter and less flamboyantly dressed than this individual kind of come out as well and put a rowboat out and they kind of row over towards you. This figure stands in the prow. Quite strong. Ladies, gentlemen, he says in a fairly cultured voice. He takes off his hat, which has got a feather in it, and he bows. Zardos Zord, at your service. Torquil, is this the matter about Skullport? And Torquil nods. Good. And to whom do I have the pleasure of addressing?
John Calder.
John, Master Calder, he says.
I'm Sandra.
I forgot about that.
That is a very exotic name that you've got there, Sandra.
Well, thanks.
Nigel.
Again, another exotic name. You look like a Nigel, I have to say.
Yeah. My parents were going to call me Keith.
I'm not sure that you have the panache for a Keith.
No.
And then Josh and Ben.
You may call me Fen.
Fen?
Him with a Y.
Him with a Y.
Him?
What are we, an emo band?
Heim.
No.
All very genuine. Good to see. Good to see that we're playing it straight, he says. The payment? Torquil says, hands out over a necklace. The same necklace as the as he received from you. Zardos looks at it. Feels warm, Torquil. Feels warm. Torquil shrugs and says, got to make do with what we can get, can't you? Fair enough. And he turns and hands the necklace over. As he turns, you notice he's got a kind of a contraption on his hip in what looks to be like a holster down the length of his thigh. And the belt comes up, it's got a handle that comes out, and then it's a metal contraption. And there's just 6 small kind of plumes of smoke rising from it. Then it narrows off to a metal tube that kind of runs down.
Would we know what a gunslinger is?
Nopes. But yeah, he's got a 6-shooter in a holster.
Nice.
I gotta ask
The
him.
weirdest looking wand in the world.
Mm-hmm. And you notice the 2 fellows behind him have smaller ones, but the plumes of smoke rise from their.
Well, when we're noticing that, are they like, our eyes are up here, boys?
Welcome to the Scarlet Marpenoth, he says.
The what? Scarlet Marpenoth.
Scarlet Marpenoth. It's one of a kind. A ship that can go beneath the surface of the sea. We'll use it to get into the underwater caves to which the entrance of Skullport resides.
How far a journey is it?
It'll not take us very long. Not very long at all. Not the way that this craft travels. To the underwater cave that is the entrance to Skullport, Torquil. Torquil nods and says, yeah, that's it.
Is this just a one-way trip? Or have we paid for the return journey?
Who are you asking?
The, whatever his name is.
The gentleman himself.
Zardos.
Zardos.
Just the one way Nigel almost called Keith.
Nigel almost Keith.
Yeah.
Zardos, I would love a tour of your vessel.
Well, that can be
Particularly your
arranged.
stateroom.
Come aboard, Sandra. I've not met
Oh,
somebody
I
with a
think.
name as exotic as yours.
And is there lodgings on here, or will we not need them?
You won't need lodgings, but let me show you around.
Oh.
Oh, well, thank you. Boys, you just carry on.
Zardos, show her your bed. She's a big fan of beds.
That is very presumptuous.
I just meant
But also
Building
very-
them?
next one.
So you're just shown into the
Sandra.
hatch.
Mm.
They're taken down the hatchway, and there's a central corridor, and you can see a number of doors that lead off that corridor. And as you kind of
Bless you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh. Oh, is that a manta ray?
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Oh, I'm not on the page.
so the entrance hatch is the bottom left kind of room.
Okay.
And then you glance down and you can hear some noise and some heat coming from below you. And then he takes you forward past the main doors up into the control room. And the control room has 2 levels. There's an observation deck and there's what looks to be a command center, and the circular windows that are embedded in the port and starboard bulkheads.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of see it descend down. You see the surface of the water rising up over, and then you're into the darkness of the night, and you hear a pong, pong, and there's a fellow with what looks to be 2 boxes over his ears, staring quite intently in the command center.
He's looking around to see if he can see a really small forge with an anvil that's making the noise.
Yeah,
Dong.
the individuals that are kind of running, like kind of piloting, I guess, the craft, are all grey gnomes, really kind of pallid, quite jowly creatures, completely bald. Kind of to the Skullport caves, Zardos says, and don't spare the sharks. He says. Of course, Zardos, there are 2 humanoid figures, look elven, half elven, that are lounging at the back. They're again equipped with these strange weapons, and you feel the movement, a very strange movement, as it kind of starts to push off and kind of goes. You can't really see much out of the windows kind of anymore, but every so often, attracted by the light that is emanating from within, you see kind of a large fish or something kind of come and press. It's really kind of weird. You've never encountered anything like this in your Sandra, Nigel, John lives. Zardos,
Oh my!
Has Hyman ever seen it before?
Hyman has not seen it before either. So that's the upper. So this is the lower. And then you kind of take it down a ladder, and you're taken into a dining room. And there's a fine walnut table, really highly polished table in the centre of the dining room. 8 tables around it. It's only going to take us a little while, less than the time it took you to get out of Waterdeep, to get back to the caves. Any small talk that anybody wants to make? He actually
This
says
is a
that
beautiful
literally.
table. I must say, what a fine piece of wood.
I'm gonna ask where are those, and gesture at the things we don't know are guns.
This? He kind of pulls it out. Doesn't fire it. He just like goes,
Shoots Aldred in the face.
these are special hand crossbows. He says, special hand crossbows. And It's kind of what he does. He actually does that. Puts it back into the holster.
Can I take a look at one?
Spins it in his hand, puts it down the table. These are for looking. These are for touching.
That's fine. With my artisan's eye, I'd like to take a look at that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. And do I need to roll or anything?
What is it that you're trying to establish?
I just want to see
Blueprints.
how it's put together.
Okay, so clearly there is a barrel.
Yep.
It looks different than something that you would find on, say, a. Let me think now. It's almost like a trebuchet in terms of it's clearly to direct a bolt. Of something of that nature, though there is some curvature within. You can see the light glancing off, so it's rifled essentially, and then there is what looks to be the smoke coming off, and then pads that can be ignited on the back of these protrusions, and you can see that there's clearly a mechanism that would allow it to rotate, and if you pull the trigger then something happens, but certainly it rotates the barrel. So it would have a bolt in each of the casings. Then that would rotate around like a rapid fire crossbow. You'll probably have seen plans of, if not necessarily one of its own. It's giving off smoke and it's giving off heat, so it's possibly harnessing elemental magics.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to inquire about.
Well, I've got to ask, how the hell did a fella like you end up with a crew like that?
Crew like what?
Them little gnomes with the grease skin and the bald heads.
It's what a racist.
I don't think you can talk about them like that, Ode.
Yes.
I don't give a damn.
Lorella, Trevor, Round, and Anverth.
I don't like where I am or who you are, and I don't like having to give people the money.
These
You
drugs.
don't like
I don't frankly care.
Can
Hyman,
we make some sort of check to figure out what they are?
What is?
The gnomes.
Do we know what the gnomes are? Can we make a check for knowing what they are?
Yeah, make a.
I ain't never seen gnomes like that.
They're definitely gnomes. You probably Aldred recognize. You'll be able to pitch them as Firth-Neblin. You'll have done some basic genealogy.
We've read it in
stuff
a book.
Yeah. Clearly, Fen is the second best read in the
probably the first best read.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Power of books.
It's quite likely that Zerelda would know them as well.
Yes.
Rock gnomes.
The Smurf Nevlin, no, my friend.
So how'd you end up with a crew of snurf, whatever they're called?
Rock gnomes, oh God!
They're just gnomes that live underneath the ground.
I hired.
Why would they be in a boat?
They have certain skills that are useful to me, he says. I don't know what you expected me to say, but that's the answer.
Zordos, what else do you find useful? What other skills do you lack?
Zerelda flutters her eyes.
He looks like someone who's a fan of someone who knows how to handle wood.
I'm a fan of someone who knows how to handle wood using just their lips.
My.
He doesn't say. No, he says, I'm a big fan of people who can turn small amounts of money into larger amounts of money. And I'm also a big fan of people who will tell me information that could be of use about the state of the world, so I can collate that and make the right investments and obtain the greatest return on those investments.
Oh well. I don't think you'll be talking to me much then.
Zardos, I have a question. Do you know much about Skullport? Some of our first time there. Got a couple of questions.
You're going to Skullport, so that's definitely the intention. And he kind of looks across at Torquil, and Torquil nods. And are you following your dream, Torquil? Torquil says, man's got to do what a man's got to do. And the little creature? He's with
Dream?
me,
Mhm.
Torquil says. Well, he's certainly with you, though whether you're with him or not. Sorry, Fen, if that is your real name. It's a bit too normal for this crowd.
I'm known by many names. Are the merchant princes got any activity in the Skullport that you know of?
The merchant princes.
Mm.
The merchant princes.
Yes. Do they? Are they active in the Skullport?
Who are the merchant princes?
Oh, never mind
Okay.
then. I'll take that as a no.
At the
I'm gonna take this
moment, and I'll give you this one for free, the Xanathar's Guild has a controlling interest in Skullport and has had for a long while.
Okay.
What dream are you pursuing, our new companion?
Oh, me, Torquil says.
Yeah.
I asked you not to talk about this, Zardos. I want to set up a church so I can bring people to my faith, and I can have a spiritual awakening through the masses, and I can free them from the the slavery of unthinking thought. That is my dream, and I've been called by the gods, one god in particular, to bring the true word to the people.
And what is that true word?
Thievery. Collecting things that other people own and getting hold of them and making us rich as fucking pigs. Rich pigs, not the poor pigs, rich pigs.
I think I'm starting to like you.
Well, I like the sound of that.
And glorifying the name of Mask with such precise, fantastic, brilliant crimes that it will be the talk of bards everywhere. And that is my dream. For that is the glory of Mask.
I was questioning Skullport, your choice in place to start, but that does make a lot more sense now.
Because from Skullport, we can go upwards and we can go downwards. Downwards is a bit shitty, but go upwards to Waterdeep. Xanathar's Guild has been around for a long while. That means it's going to be entering the winter of its lifetime, and that will be the spring of Mask's lifetime, and all of us are in the front door. Zardos kind of is leaning back, like just prodding him. Yeah, really. Oh, yeah. Certainly, exactly. Well, let me tell you.
Early investors.
I like his intentions, but I think there's something wrong with his throat.
I like his enthusiasm, but we've dealt with the Xanathar's Guild before, and they're not the easiest going
And
customers.
that is why Seat comes in. He is the best infiltrator I have ever met. He can get into Xanathar's hideout. We find Xanathar's hideout.
Seat's my slave name.
See, Stool was his slave name.
Yeah.
He gets Seat into there, and he'll poof his spores, and all the Xanathar's Guild will come under his sway, and then they'll come under our sway because Seat is, it's just Seat, isn't he? And that'll be fantastic, because then we'll be able to leverage the Xanathar's Guild. We'll have all their resources, all those people, and they won't know what's happening. So whomever is running the Xanathar's Guild has no idea about our secret weapon.
Right.
You've got big dreams.
Got to dream big in this life, then. Got to dream big. Reach for the stars, and you might get the ceiling. Reach for the ceiling, and you might scratch your head. Something like that, anyway.
I feel like this one needs new socks.
Your ambition.
How many followers do you have in this religion so far?
I have 1. He points at Seat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a 500% increase on what I had just before I happened to meet my first two converts, my second and third converts of Ignatius and Zerelda, and Mask Fortune brought them to me in the field ward where I was going to rot away, and allowed us to escape and to come and meet up with Zardos for our journey into Skullport. It is a sign.
Have you guys joined this religion?
Well, yeah.
Was there some ceremony?
I mean, I say Mask's name when I don't want to be seen, but that's about.
I mean, for now, I'm willing to.
I can understand that the faith in Mask is an acquired taste, and acquisition is exactly what the clergy of Mask is about. Acquisition of other people's goods. Such as I am going to acquire your faith, I am going to steal it by my approach, my words, and the truth and wisdom that you will see. Mask has delivered you from that prison. He has delivered you into the Scarlet Marpeneth, and he will deliver us to Skullport. And from Skullport, he will deliver the Xanathar's Guild into our hands, and you will be my lieutenants.
Hang on. Are you saying that Zardos is mad?
I love this guy.
No.
No, Zardos. Then Zardos laughs and says, I might wear a mask time to time, but I am not Mask.
Oh.
He kind of like goes behind Torquil. He's like,
You do know that Mask's a god, Zerelda, yes?
Oh, I was just humouring myself, but...
It's good of you to use Zerelda, as Zardos says. So it's not Sandra.
Hi.
Oh,
It's all right.
thank you,
That's karma.
Alfred. I'm sure you understand, Zardos, if that is your real name.
He smiles. It's the name that we go by, isn't it?
As Sandra is the name I go by.
At least I chose one that could fit in anywhere in the realms. Wouldn't stand out by its exotic nature.
Yeah.
I think we're about to arrive.
My, that was quick.
It was very quick.
No, we've been being preached to for about 7 hours.
And I say,
It's a
glory
full-
to the Lord.
Oh no, I was thinking more like timeshare, trying to sell you that part.
Yeah.
Pyramid scheme. Yeah.
All asleep on the dining table. Like.
No, you'd be bought into
Yeah, but
it.
that's where he then pinches your pockets.
I'm not bought into this. I've only just converted to Timara when they saved me from that bloody thing.
We're just, deity fluid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's perfectly legit
Right,
to
today-
acknowledge a lot of gods in Forgotten Realms because they legitimately exist.
Not non-binary deity.
What
Yeah.
are you saying, Martin? Are you saying that gods don't really exist?
Forgotten Realms.
In the Forgotten Realms,
It's like you'd be a very weird person to be an atheist.
Okay.
Alright, he's off to Dubai next.
So the thing that hits you the most when you come out of the hatch is the ancient red dragon, but
Oh.
End of the game.
it's just the temperature. It's a lot colder than it was before. It was late spring in Waterdeep for early summer, one of the which. But it's cooler day here, and you're in total darkness. So those with dark vision can kind of see out the water out a little bit. The small rowboat that was used to transport Zardos to the shore at the shack is pulled out again. And Zardos says, "A gift from me. You want to head in that direction."
Okay.
Sandra,
Yeah.
Nigel,
Yep.
John, him, Fen, Seat, Torquil. I hope you're making Skullport. If you do, come back up. And if the Maiden's Fair is in town, come and see me.
I would like that.
It will do.
I'll give you a night. I'll give you a night.
Well, here.
Before we part
Go on the
ways,
boat.
can I ask which level of Undermountain this is?
This is not a level of Undermountain. But Torquil didn't pay for information, he paid for transit. Enjoy.
You
He
say
kind
you'll
of
give us a
clambers
night?
back. A night, yeah. The Maiden's
As a
Fair.
night?
You come. I'll be in Waterdeep Harbour probably later this summer. Come and
Is
see
that a
me.
night of gambling? Or a night of...
Night of gambling on the house. Whatever
Ooh.
takings you get, you can keep. I'll give you 100 gold starting fund each.
Ooh.
Well, I'll have
that's
to
a lot.
stay alive for that then.
Yeah.
The
Wait, sorry. Did we just get gold? Sorry, you were cutting out a little bit there.
No.
No.
you'll have a
We got 100. We got free credit.
Casino.
Casino.
And the important thing about the Midnight Fair is there's no legal jurisdiction extends to it other than mine. And he closes the hatch, and then it kind of sinks down, and you're all rocking on the rowboat.
I don't
was
think
wild.
much of him. I don't think much of him at all.
I liked him.
I liked him.
You, it's all right, Ode. When we go take up our 3 months,
Yeah. I'll grab an oar.
Torquil
start.
says, which way we were supposed to go again?
that way.
way.
Okay, I hope somebody else is steering this thing, he says. So who's grabbing oars?
I'll have an oar.
I'll take an oar.
Yeah, okay.
I'll keep an eye out.
And you haphazardly row your boat in the general direction that you indicated. Kenny and I went rowing on Lake Derwent last week. He managed to ground us on a rock in the middle of the lake. I was like, fuck.
Did you have to swim for sure?
No, I scraped myself off. I think I left half the boat there.
Oh.
Was it like put it at the far end of the dock and then go back to the car really quickly?
Yeah, that's it. And you row forward. Those that can't see in the dark, it's generally can't see you move, hands move in front of your face, darkness. Those of you that can see, you can see a stone wall looming easily 50 feet up in front of you. And you can see a darker seam that runs vertically down the centre of it.
Can only me and Ode see in the dark?
No, I can see in the dark.
I can now.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
I need to cast it on this rod, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
We've got 20 on.
So you've got a stone wall, kind of goes up 50 feet, and there's this quite thick seam that kind of goes up vertically in it.
We'll head towards that then.
I nudge over to Fen. I'm like, why is Ignatius keeping a watch?
I don't think he can see in the dark, Ode.
Does he know that?
He's been acting very odd since we caught up with him again.
As I said to you, that you might notice a slight glint of red in my eye.
I
You a
think
drow?
He's a half elf as well.
It's just hiding his accent.
It's kind of what half elves can sound like when they're properly educated
Yeah,
and apply themselves.
Yeah, because you row across towards the seam, and it is a thick seam. It's almost as if there's two rock faces that meet there in a rough join.
Perception, does it look like a gap we can get through?
No, it's them together.
Oh.
So
Is it like a lock?
next then.
It looks like it could be gates of a lock.
Oh. Torquil, any idea?
Torquil says, "I thought it would be easier than this, but I'm sure that Mask will provide."
Hello?
Hello. This is a substantial chamber that you're in.
So is that a lock that actually looks like it can be manipulated by some people's sleeve stills?
By lock, I think you mean canal lock, don't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
canal lock rather than.
A lock,
It's not,
Yeah.
it's not, it's not Scottish
lock.
pond
not a lock.
Like a canal.
or a
Well-
padlock, it's a canal.
Well, we'll get right up to it and investigate it a bit more.
Okay, so you bang up against the stone face, and it does look like two stone faces that kind of like meet there, and the seam goes all the way up, and you can see the crest of the rock seam 50 feet above your heads.
I'll reach out and knock on it.
It's stone.
Does it look like we can get on top of it?
It could possibly climb up there.
You could use a crack to climb up.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like smooth. It's kind of like gritstone, I guess. So you'd be able to. Then you reckon you could get up that relatively straightforward.
Yeah, I'll try and shimmy up it then.
Okay, give me an athletics roll.
That isn't my strong point.
But now I wish I took
But it is
some.
mine.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, right. Wow, it's a flat roll. Okay.
Yeah. You should have your dex added to that, surely.
No, it's strength, isn't it?
Is it
That's what I
strength?
said.
Yeah, unless it's
Oh,
a
yeah, of
strength
course.
roll.
It's acrobatics for
Yeah.
dex.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get up there. You're a little bit tired in the arms when you kind of get to the top. It's pushing you to your limit, and the top is about 15 feet, kind of across the breast. And you kind of look down the other side, and you can't see the bottom.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What can you see?
Nothing.
Is there a lever?
Darkness.
Throw something off it.
It's a good point.
For what? I ain't anything
There's
heavy.
a stone up there.
Look for a loose stone and
Have
see
you
if
got
you can just
a-
throw it down.
Copper. Throw a copper.
There's a passing policeman. You managed to get
A copper coin, not a pig.
I'll flick a copper coin down and see if I can hear it hit
knock off
water.
your character sheet.
I will.
Make me a perception roll.
Take it out of the party funds.
Perception. Oh God.
You don't
Oh wait,
hear
you
it.
got +8.
You don't hear it.
Second
It's
time
deep.
charm.
Is it worth us coming up?
Probably not. I'll just shout, "Hello, hello, hello," into the chasm.
Hello. Whoa. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Doesn't happen.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Oh,
Yeah, open the gate.
Open the gates.
Gay.
I'll start trying to climb down the other side then.
Okay. Make me an athletics roll.
Don't fall. Don't fall.
You start to climb down. How far are you willing to go down?
I've got a 60 feet dark vision, so I'll keep going. I'll go 40 feet and see if I can see.
No, you've had
Bottom.
the bottom.
Jeez Christ.
What's going on?
fucking hell.
It's deep.
You're kind of like clinging on a little bit, and you start to feel your arms starting to.
Shake.
Yeah, your fingers like this. The temperature more than anything else is kind of like getting to you a little.
Is there any way on like looking to either side? Is it just water for days, or are there any kind of like
You
embankments?
can't
Or
see from where you are. All you can see is the sea going. You can move your rowboat.
Yeah, let's look for one then.
yeah, can we go like follow the line of the wall
Mm-hmm.
so we can?
The wall
I know what-
looks as if it's about you're in the seam. So if you were to assume that
Yeah.
the seam was central, you kind of nudge. You go about 40 feet across, and then you can see essentially the shape of the rock kind of going upwards. So you reckon that is 100 foot, and if the seam was in the center, it'd be another 100 foot. So it'd be 200 foot wide, 50 feet tall. You can't really hear Fen on the other side of this thing either.
I'm going to get out because I've got a hammer, pitton, and rope. So I'm going to get out and that hammer a pitting in, put some rope round it, and so I've got 50 feet of rope. So I'm going to try and lower myself 50 feet and keep putting in some pittings.
Okay, so you kind of do that.
So
and
another
you get
50
down,
feet.
So you've gone down 90 feet.
Yeah.
So you get down to about 20 foot as you measure by the rope, and you can see the bottom.
Okay. Do I see anything else there? Is it
Just surface
water?
Water, yeah. You see more the movement than you do kind of anything else. There's no real light reflecting off it or anything like that, but you can see a swaying surface, which you assume to be water.
And can I see anything else around? Just that.
Nope.
I will.
There's a top to this wall, though, isn't there?
Yeah, I've climbed over it. I've gone up and
Yeah,
I'm over
you've
and down
gone
the
over
side.
What's to the left and to the right on top of this wall?
So from where you are, you're at the kind of you went. Let's say you went left as you're looking at the wall.
Yeah.
You can see that there is because you've got 60 foot, dark vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see that there looks to be a cave entrance on the top of the wall where it meets the. So let's say that the lock gate, the top of the lock gate where that meets the cavern wall, looks to be a cave entrance. And as you're looking up there, you can see that there looks to be some kind of mechanism rising out of that, but it goes into the periphery of your outside of your dark vision. As it rises up.
Mine's
Do you relay this to?
Yours is what, 120? Okay, so you can see it rises up, and then it kind of hits like a. It's almost like a column that's rising up, and then it hits a right angle, and it's kind of broken off at that point, and there's what looks to be a massive cable, kind of like dangling down, that goes down the other side of the wall.
Oh, do you see that?
So it's outside of your vision. You can't see that now.
No,
Okay.
I think that's
that cave with that thing in it.
Oh, you can see.
I see a cave.
I say,
How can you see in the dark?
Well, bickering. I'm
it's
going to
just
grab
not
the
that
rod.
dark, is it? Everything looks normal to me.
Well, they're
It is
bickering.
pretty
it's monochrome.
dark.
It's monochrome. Everything's black and white.
I see as normal.
See, it's normal. Oh, yeah, okay, well, then it looks dark. It looks monochrome. There's no light to actually create colour.
I would see colour.
That's an interesting thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Now, I think you see colour in
To be
magical
fair,
darkness.
Yeah,
The thing would probably be grey anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's no light source to create the different phones of light, but then that's why you can't see. So let's just say that you can see, you're seeing colour. Let's just say you're seeing colour.
The answer is it's magic.
Yeah. You're seeing
Yeah.
A wizard did it.
So while they're bickering, I'm going to grab the rod and say, "Says me." No, sees me.
Sees me. Okay, yeah. So you can see 60 foot out, so you can see as it's been described. Let's say that you can see kind of like the edges of heat thermal stuff. Let's flavour it that way. So it's almost as if it's like backlit by fire, and you can see golden edges and glows and stuff. Enough so that you can discern features and so on.
Is
But
it like
just a little
Echo
bit
Location?
different.
It's Netflix Daredevil, kind
Yeah.
of.
He's on echolocation. So you have to ping while you're using it.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many charges does that have again?
So
20.
starts with 20.
20. And it recharges at dawn.
Yes. Then nobody called themselves Dawn. So.
But you
Nice
said it's
girl.
like a dildo. You've just got to find Dawn and let her recharge it. You don't want to know how she does it.
Okay.
I say we go up there and have a look in that cave.
Yep.
What are you doing,
Okay.
Fen?
Still going down.
Once we've got up there, can we shout down to Fen that we found something?
Yeah, you can shout. You won't be able to.
Get your tusks back up
So
there.
are you guys going up?
Yeah, we're going
Okay,
to
let's
go
have,
back.
let's have athletic rolls from everybody, please.
Oh, Jesus.
Can I carry Aldred?
Athletic roll with disadvantage.
Okay. I mean, if
Um,
Aldred wants me to.
Do I consent to this? No, I'm too proud. I'm too proud. I definitely would like
So this
to,
is a vertical face.
but I'm too proud.
It's not sheer rock. It's not like flat or perfectly smooth or anything like that. But it would be quite difficult to carry him, no matter how strong you are, just because of the bulk and the encumbrance.
Well,
of it.
Thank God
Well,
I didn't.
I'm glad I didn't.
Natty one.
Mhm.
Right.
That didn't go well.
Yeah, okay.
So Aldred's doing this big like warm up. He's like getting his arms around, stretching and everything. And here we go. And his roll is, whoa!
Flies at
Shoots up it.
Aldred
Jumps up
shoots up,
Zerelda's head.
but he clearly uses Zerelda and Ode as handholds at some point. pushes them down. Okay, Ode, you come off the wall, and Zerelda, you come off the wall and you plummet downwards. You're starting to kind of like scrape, so you're kind of like against the wall, trying to kind of arrest your fall. Let's say that you fall from about 20 or 30 feet. Torquil is below you. He was eyeing up the odds. He was like, "Can somebody throw a rope down, please?" And you kind of like, are you going to try and avoid the boat? Or are you going to try and land in the boat?
I want to try and land near the boat.
Okay. Make me a dex save. Same for you as well. Are you going in the boat?
But I want to make sure the dive looks good.
Okay.
Oh, is it performance?
Yeah.
It's a shame I didn't get it first because I could have cast Featherfall on you.
Yeah, can I use charisma? No, I'll do a dex save.
I don't think Zerelda would have thought about a softer landing in the boat, so I'm not going to go for the boat.
Okay. Make me a dex save. Okay. Oh, Ode. Okay, yeah. So you splash in into the water. Pretty good swan dive as you kind of rotate and land in there. It's incredibly cold. It takes the breath away from you. Torquil's got an oar and is kind of like holding it out to you. Zerelda, you land, and the cold takes 2 points of damage from you as it kind of like bites into your lungs. But again, you're kind of brought back into the boat. You're starting to get a chill. It's starting to be quite a bad thing.
Oh, Jesus.
Aldred, you're at the top. Iggy, you're at the top. Fen, you're kind of like down the other side. What are you doing, by the way, Fen?
I'm going to start making my way back up using the Hammond pittons and rope.
Okay, athletics with
lead climb.
advantage, please.
Fun fact, guys, I don't actually keep a rope on me.
I did, but I lost it.
Yeah, I lost mine too.
Oh.
Both the
Oh,
same.
no!
That's interesting.
Yeah.
With great difficulty, you crest the top of the the hill.
Hearing him
Aldred
struggling
and Iggy, you have to kind of like basically lift him over.
That's a long way down that side, guys.
You lose any pitons that you were like trying to carry up as you kind of drop them.
I had
Okay.
10, so
Was the rope down there?
I'll take up the rope, and I'm not that strong, though. Can someone else hoist these guys up?
I say we have a look in this cave first.
I say we get the rest of the group out of the water first.
They're out the water. They're in a boat.
Yeah, but there's
No, but
we saw there's fish and monsters potentially in
This
there.
is a lock gate. Then they're gonna need the boat anyway.
You will realise that how cold you heard the splashes. You will realise how cold they will be.
why did you guys climb up here anyway?
Because
There's a mechanism. There's a mechanism over here. Anyway,
Ah, so god damn it, there is.
let's ask the people themselves. Surely you guys want out of the boat.
You shout down, "Do you want out of the boat?"
Yeah.
That would be lovely.
You're starting to chill. You're starting to shiver.
Right. 3.
There's a nice warm fire up here.
I offer you some dry socks.
Let's. So 3 of us. Let's all 3 of us hold this rope. Is there anything we can tie it to? Actually.
Yeah, absolutely. The edge of the cave.
Okay, let's do that and tie it off there. Really well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these are lovely socks. Thank you.
Okay, you're hoisted up. Torquil and Seat say that they'll stay in the boat.
Very good of you.
So are we just watching Aldred like climb up, do all this stuff, tie all these ropes in it, and we're all just sat there thinking he was definitely in the scouts.
I've just wandered off into the cave to have a look at this piece.
Are you going off into the cave?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, the thing is, you've got to tie a clove hitch because this is a knot. I read it
Yeah,
in a book.
So I'm imagining Aldred as like the Fraser Crane of wizards, or more like Niles Crane.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we're in a cave now, yes?
Iggy, no, you're on the edge.
Yes.
Iggy is in there. I'm gonna call the
Okay, that does not look like a friendly cave.
Fine.
no, it doesn't.
What can I say?
So you walk in, and the place is kind of like covered with spider webs, and you see shapes wrapped up in spider webs, Hobbit style, dangling. And as you kind of get in, the stench of fetid meat, rotting stuff is in there. Underneath all the webs in the centre, there looks to be a capstan. So a kind of a wooden barrel with 4 spokes coming out of it that you would rotate to pull rope in and what have you. And then there's a thick rope kind of like goes out and off up to where the mechanism that you saw was. So you've just wandered into there. The rest of you guys are pulling them up and calling a session there.
Nice.
Yeah. Biggest one or two do.
No, I'm not going any further.
Yeah. And the web is very visible, yes.
Inside the cave.
I can see
Okay.
all of that. It's not a problem.
Okay. So yeah, so there we go. There we have it.
That's awesome.
It's annoying that the technical difficulties seem to disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben, have you got Mage Hand?
Yes.
Martin, have you got Mage Hand?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I took 2 offensive cantrips, message and light.
Okay.
I think we're going to have to get in there.
So that's that. So if anybody's watching the stream, apologies for it being a bit disjointed. When I come to edit it, I'll just try to join that all up a little bit. What date are we on today? The 16th, so it would be the 30th of April. Everybody okay for that?
Ooh.
More than likely. Let me just double check.
Yeah, should be fun.
2 days before I go to Florida.
Ooh, how long are you in Florida for? Are you missing a session?
I will be missing a session as well.
You're not just going to Skype in from where? From
Yeah, from Florida.
Disney
Probably
World.
a better connection than here.
It'll be night time.
I'll be.
Ooh,
Where will I
I
be?
am-
What day will that be?
Is that so? The 30th, you said.
Yes.
It'd be like 2 o'clock in the morning or something.
I am
Yeah.
actually
We'll be getting in.
unsure because our training day falls in a really awkward place that week. I'll double check my plans with the other person.
Okay. Okay. So anything from anybody before we call it a night?
No. Good.
I love ending on a spider-filled cave.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like the next session is just gonna be boom.
Spiders.
Well, you don't get webs without them.
Yeah, I guess so.
Unless it's like a really
Make a
overexcited
nature
giant.
check to know that one.
Yeah.
Prepubescent giant's cave.
It's,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's Spider-Man.
It's just a very passionate interior decorator of Loth.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what it is. That's
Right,
exactly what it is. You're going to find some kind of like incredibly kind of like artistically minded drow with a mood board.
Yeah.
And a colour wheel.
Yeah. What should I use? What black Pantone colour should I use?
Black, grey,
Black.
grey, white.
Basically it. Okay, so the Loth marketing board will be making a presence known next time round. Okay, well, thank you everybody for watching, and I hope that you fought through the technical difficulties and enjoyed at least the latter part of the session. Okay, cool. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
The stream stopped. Okay. Right. Let me see what was
oh,
happening.
I need painkillers.
See, the power of stretching, guys. The power of stretching.
Yeah, but I fell down the stairs yesterday.
Oh, how do you
Yesterday morning in A&E.
Ow.
Dear.
How did you manage that? Were you drunk?
No, it was like I was getting everything together for work. I slipped on about halfway down the stairs, cracked my back on, and then slid all the way down. Bump, 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 bump.
Well,
Then,
that's has to.
Was Becca in at the house at the time?
yeah, luckily she was still in bed.
Yeah. You were pushed then.
Together for work.
How were the
Yeah, see, when
stairs?
you're a teenager.
I landed flat on my ass right at the bottom, and it felt like
Good.
you know, like when you crunch a can with your foot, it felt like that. And the coccyx really hurts. I can barely sit down.
You want a
Really
rubber ring?
You've got a tail.
I'm not the rubber ring, but I probably should be.
No, seriously. I went to uni with a girl who she'd fallen over in a fun house, and it was one of those where the moving floor went like,
Mm.
and it snapped her coccyx, and she ended up with a. If you ran your hand down her back, she invited us to. We were all in a hot tub. It's different story.
We were all
Did your tail because
Not
of it?
better.
Oh, wow, weird.
Because it like they couldn't like break it again and fuse it back. It just healed, sticking out slightly.
Yeah.
She had a little tail.
I once
Ugh.
fell down a set of stairs into a hot tub. That's not
Tub's
true.
an unusual name.
Yeah, hot tub. Yeah, name of an NPC. Okay, cool. Right. Anyway, all right, I'm going to bed.
Right.
9 to 11. Okay, cool.
Me too.
Cool.